all know that how light plays an important role in organisms growth. For example, how light is important for the plant growth and as well as all the living organisms growth. Okay, so last week or last few weeks we have suffered a lot because of a heavy rain, because of many things. Okay, so what is the reason why we are feeling something different when we are getting rain? Okay, so the reason we know that which gives more moisture content and as well as we won't feel free because light is most important for our normal life. Okay, so if it is heavy or over light or over temperature, no, that not suitable for us. If over rain or over water storage, now that also affect our normal habitations. Okay, so what determines the normal habit or what determines the normal function of all the living organism? Na light. Okay, so why when we talk about temperature, why we are talking about light? Na, because light is the most important source that only gives light as well as temperature. Okay, so we are getting light as well as temperature from sun. Okay, so sun is the only source of light. Okay, so this what we discussed in last class. And what are the parts, visible parts of a light is necessary for the plant growth? So we were discussed red light and as well as blue color lights. Okay, so red is more suitable for the plant growth and as well as blue light also plants absorb, but which light intensity can be absorbed in more amount by the plants now, that is in the range of 600 to 700 nanometer. So this is nothing, it's a red colored visible spectrum of a light. Okay, and apart from that, plants also observe green light in the range of 500 to 600 nanometer. But all kind of plants, or in all the times, they won't observe this light intensity. But which is most suitable now, 600 to 700 nanometer. So in 11th standard itself, we were discussed that 700 is the suitable optimum light for the plant growth. No? In 11th standard itself, in the physiology lesson, we discussed or we studied. Okay, so these are the points we stopped in the last class. And come to the next one, tolerance to intensities of a light. Okay, so tolerance to intensities of lights, how the plants they tolerate the light. Okay, so based upon that, yes ma'am, you need to say anything ma'am?
No.
Okay ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So, based upon the tolerance, light tolerance, we can classify plants into two groups or two categories. The first one is heliophytes, and the second one is zeophytes. Okay. So, what is heliophytes? We can say some examples. Heliophytes, we can say some examples. So, these are the plants. They need a proper temperature and as well as they need a normal light intensity for its better growth. So that's the most important thing. What is heliophytes now? They are the plants. They love or they like more amount of a light. So that kind of a plants are comes under heliophytes. So plants like a neem tree, mango tree, and all flowering plants are comes under this category. And we know that flowering plants are grouped as group called angiosperms. So angiosperms we can say example for this heliophytes. And see the second one. So in the second thing you can see zeophytes. So what is zeophytes? So these are the group of plants. They won't need much light. They are the shade like us. Okay, so they won't like a light. So wherever shades are there, there they grow well. Okay, so we can say examples like a bryophytes. Bryophytes are best example, and some forms of pteridophytes also example. But what is the most important example for a zeophytes? Na bryophytes. Okay, they are shade loving plants. So from these two topics, you will get one mark question. What is heliophytes? Or give example for heliophytes. Xeophytes example. Xeophytes are nothing, they are shade loving or light hating plants. They won't grow well in a light area or lighted areas. Okay. And come to the next one, paleoclimatology. So we all know that paleo means it's something which is studied for to understand the past climatic conditions. Okay, so paleoclimatology is the study of a environment from which we can get the past climatic conditions. Okay, so for that we can say some examples. So the pollen grains and the coral forms and plant materials or animal materials, anything, if it is stored in the form of ice or in the form of resins. So in anything, if it is preserved for a longer time, and if you are doing research in that particular thing, now you will get the climatic conditions. So we can say certain examples like pebbles. So pebbles which is preserved in a ice or preserved in a resins of a plants, now we can identify in which climate it was stored or what are the climatic condition they can be lead its life. So these kind of informations or the past climatic informations we will get from the paleoclimatology, especially the materials which is preserved in that particular situation can be estimated. Okay,